You have like a billion people watching you, and with every ball, there's like everybody's holding their breath. How do you control nerves in such kind of instances? I think you are one of those few captains that people look up to. Yeah, look at this guy, how he controls his nerves.
There was a situation where you have to make a decision. There are a lot of runs that you have to chase. You know, your partner will come and tell you, why don't you play this shot? Why don't we try and get 15 runs in this over and all that? Even then, my response to that used to be like, okay, let's not think what is going to happen 2 balls later. Rather think about, okay, he's coming now. What are we going to do now?
Rohit sir, so good to have you here. आपको विश्वास नहीं होगा, but I've been manifesting this for last 2 years, and you're finally sitting in front of me. A lot of questions, बहुत सारे सवाल हैं जो कि पूछने हैं, and I think सबसे पहले the thing I will ask you is how are you feeling after winning the T20 World Cup?
Yeah, firstly, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Speaking about the World Cup, I think everyone saw that month of the World Cup, but there was a lot of work that was done behind the scenes for the past 3 years, 4 years maybe more, I don't know, because now you know you've got World Cup every year, so you look forward to every year, but finally just for us to be here, sitting here as a world champion, feels really good. What we did in the past 3 years, 4 years, you feel really satisfied when everything comes off. All the work that you've done, all the ideas and strategies and thoughts that you've put in, if obviously feels nice when it all comes off. So it'll be very hard to describe this whole moment in 1 or 2 minutes, because there's so much that has gone behind the scenes.
Right.
But finally to achieve that, we all wanted so badly, feels really good, because like I said, a lot of people are behind the scenes who have worked really hard for this, who actually are not the forefront of this picture that we see in front of us. There are a lot of people behind, so like I said, not easy for me to sum it up in 2-3 minutes.
I understand.
It'll take the whole day for me to explain each and every moment that went by, each and every person that played a huge role in this.
Rohit, you're 37 years old. You spent almost more than half of your life playing cricket. I think you started very early. And what is your first memory of playing cricket? कब आपने खेलना शुरू किया था? Was it in school, college?
नहीं, स्कूल कॉलेज में नहीं. सब लोगों की तरह अपने दोस्तों के साथ घर में, बिल्डिंग में, जहाँ पे हम रहते, सोसाइटी में.
Right.
क्योंकि आई थिंक बॉम्बे में जगह की कमी है, तो वी डोंट गेट बिग स्पेसेस. तो जो बिल्डिंग में जितना भी जो भी जगह होता है, यू हैव टू मैनेज इट इन दैट little place that you have. And for me, nothing was different. I started playing with all my friends, all my building friends, school friends at times. Building friends are the ones where I started playing it for fun. And then I had no idea that eventually it will become my passion. And today I'll be sitting here, after, I don't know, the first time I started was 9 years, when I was 9 years old. So right now you said 37, so obviously 28, no,
yeah. 28, 29
close to
years,
28 years now has gone by with playing whatever cricket that I've played. After a certain level only I reached the highest level of the game, but before that it was just to enjoy the sport. It is such a lovely sport, and all of us, it's like a team sport, so everyone comes together to play the sport, so you enjoy. We all start playing any sport for this, for fun, the enjoyment and a bit of banter. Then you realize that you're good at it. You try and move yourself up ahead in however way you can, and that was my story as well. I was made to realize by a lot of people around me that I'm good at this sport and I should try at a different level, club level and all of that. And then I pursued my goal. I just went ahead with the thoughts that I had in my mind as well. I'm grateful that I got the opportunity wherever it was required and at the right time as well. I made the most of it as well. So yeah, very lucky, grateful to be sitting here today.
So very interesting thing that you pointed out. Pehle you started cricket for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And then you started realizing you're good. but you also mentioned that there were some people who made you realize कि यार
Yes.
नहीं Rohit, you are good.
Yes.
All right. I mean, back then you would have. Did you actually imagine कि कभी वर्ल्ड कप?
नहीं, आप 9-10 साल के हो, आप कहाँ सोचते हो कि आपको ये करना है, इंडिया के लिए खेलना है, वर्ल्ड कप जीतना आप नहीं सोचते हो. टू बी रियलिस्टिक, जो भी बोलेगा भी ना, आई विल नॉट बिलीव इट, बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक एट दैट एज you know the level of the competition that you have to go through. But at that age, like I said, it should be all about fun. Enjoy the sport and see, how you feel about it. आपको घर जाके आपको satisfaction मिला है कि आपने आज कुछ किया, आपने मज़ा किया अपने दोस्तों के साथ, आपने enjoy किया. क्योंकि I think when you are a teenager, it's all about enjoying life, having fun. At that age, I don't believe that you can have perspective in life as such. As you grow, obviously, then you realize that this is what I want to become. This is my goal. As you grow, when people talk to you, people around you, seniors around you, obviously your mother, your father, all of those seniors around you, they obviously talk to you about, okay, what you need to achieve in life and what you should become and all of that.
And that's beautifully turned out. Like it all turned out amazingly well for not just us, for everybody.
But उस time पे नहीं realize होता है.
Yes.
Even when I was playing age group cricket as well, under 14s and under 16s and under 19s, I didn't realize that I will be one day captaining the team. Even when you're playing, even at that level, all you want to do is just be honest to the game and do everything that you can.
Yeah.
And see where the game takes you.
Where it takes you. Just
Exactly.
surrendering yourself to
Correct.
the game.
Give everything to the game, and then the game will look after you. And that was my motto as well. I wanted to give everything, whatever I had it in me in terms of batting, bowling, fielding, and try and see how I can help the team win. Because if your team wins, you go that further in the tournament.
Yeah.
And when you play semi-finals and the finals, those games get noticed a lot, because obviously the league phases, when you're playing round 1, round 2, no one notices that much. But when you're playing the semis and the finals and the quarterfinals and all that, a lot of people used to come. There was a media coverage as well for that particular round. So you automatically get noticed a lot more than the league phase.
Right.
So the aim was to somehow reach to the knockout phase, which is quarters, semis and finals. So then you ended up doing well, from round 1 itself, because you want your team to reach the finals and win the finals. So that's how I used to think. I wanted to win every game and somehow just try and contribute in whatever way I can. I used to do all 3 departments then, bowl, bat and field.
Right.
So if not batting, then how I can bowl well. If not bowling also, then how I can take some good catches, make a difference in the field, get a good run out or a good catch.
Right.
So all those things, we had some really good coaches as well around that time who taught us about all these things, told us about all these things, how to manage yourself on the field, what you should be looking forward to and all of that. So it was a fantastic experience. I loved each and every bit of it. I sometimes sit back at home and think about all those things, and it makes me feel so good about it, because those were all the learnings, when you are going up in your career. Those are the learnings that you get, and it just makes you feel so good about it, because the learning days are the best days.
Yeah. Looking back, at your childhood days, was there a time when cricket took over your studies?
Many times. Because look, the sport has got so much demand.
Yeah.
You have to give a lot of time to meet those demands, whether it is training, fitness, learning skills, and traveling. Not to forget the traveling, because in Mumbai, if you want to be a cricketer, you have to travel and you have to do the hard yards by traveling from one corner to the other corner, and it's not easy. So I spent a lot of time traveling rather than playing when I was young, because I used to live at the other corner of Mumbai and the training was happening at the other corner of Mumbai. So traveling was a big part of my life, and it took a lot of toll on my body as well, on me mentally as well, because at that age sometimes you don't realize, it is so hectic and it takes so much time out of you, so much energy out of you. If I have to think about it now, when I used to go and sleep in the night, I used to realize how tired I was.
Right.
And at that age, you're not supposed to be so tired. But you used to get tired traveling 2 hours in train and then playing for 5 hours, 6 hours, and then traveling back again. And you're not sure whether you're going to get a seat in the train.
Yeah, the local trains.
Yeah, the local train. So you have to stand with your like 15 kg kit bag
Yeah.
on your shoulders. So I have no complaints. I have no regrets. I
It was an
enjoyed
experience.
that. And that is what made me what I am today. The hard yards.
Perfect.
Those hard yards is what I believe that it helps me today as well to make tough decisions. If I have to go through something which is not easy, I know with what I've done in the past, I can go through anything. So those are the learnings I've had in the past, and I feel very proud of it. I loved every moment of it, and it has helped me in my game even now. So I'm very grateful to have that kind of time back then.
Yeah.
I know it was tough, but nothing is easy in life.
True. I think that's also one of the key reasons why you come across as somebody who's so relatable. You're like common man's hero, common man's aspiration. Kids down the street, they look at your journey and they're like, Rohit did it. I can also, because he came from the same place I am.
Yeah.
Right. So that makes you extremely relatable, extremely humble. You're very cool and kind to work with. I think these qualities somehow come from the background that.
Yeah, it's just the upbringing.
Yes.
And I don't believe with time, you got to change a lot of things in you as a person.
Yeah.
But the upbringing will never change.
You can't change who you are.
You can't, because what's in you, it's there in you.
True.
So just to show off to the outside world that no, this is not me, I'm different. No, I don't believe in all that. Tough times, but we don't regret. Even now when I sit with my parents, we talk about it, but we don't have any regrets. But I'll tell you, 90% of the cricketers have the same story. They all come from a very poor background, and they all have to do these kind of things. That's why mentally, if you see a lot of us play on the field, they're mentally very tough.
Yeah.
Because if you can go through that, you can go through anything.
Anything in life.
Yeah. The magnitude of every hardship will be different, but if you get your mind right and you tell your mind that this is what is there in front of me and it's going to be tough to cross that, but if you get your mind right that no matter what it is, I have to cross that, I have to go through that to reach another level, you will go through that, because I think your mind is the most powerful thing and you have to use it the best possible way you can.
One of the things that you would have observed amongst cricketers is the mental pressure, because you have like a billion people watching you.
Yeah.
And with every ball there's like everybody's holding their breath and they're like, ab ye kya karega? Or are we going to win this match or not? How do you control nerves in such kind of instances? I think out of all the captains India has had, I think you are one of those few captains that people look up to. Yeah, look at this guy, how he controls his nerves.
I don't think I've practiced for that or I've thought about it. It's just there. It's what I am.
It's just there.
It's just there. And I believe that even when I was young, I'm still young. But I'm saying when I was 10 years old, 15 years old, there was a situation where you have to make a decision. There are a lot of runs that you have to chase. So, your partner will come and tell you, why don't you play this shot? Why don't we try and get 10 runs? Why don't we try and get 15 runs in this over and all that? Even then, my response to that used to be like, okay, let's see ball by ball.
Yeah.
Let's see ball by ball. Let's not go too far ahead.
Yeah.
Let's see, and let's stay in the moment. Let's not think what is going to happen 2 balls later. Rather think about, okay, he's coming now. What are we going to do now? So it was there since then. I was always like that. I don't know. I mean, I've never trained for it. You can't train for all this.
Yeah.
It's what's there in you. Some things are naturally built in you, naturally there in you. And I think this is one of the things which was there in me before. And yes, I have made it one of my strengths because I have constantly thought about it, that this is my strength and I need to use it in the right way.
Yeah.
And there have been many occasions while I was playing where I was put across certain situation where I had to respond, and there were a lot of suggestions, panic that was happening around me. But I went back to my old school thinking, which is just staying calm and just thinking about this particular ball. How can we win this particular ball?
Yeah.
Not the over, not the match, but this particular ball, which can be me telling a bowler, I want you to give 1 run in this ball. In T20 especially, giving 1 run is actually a win-win situation.
Right.
You're putting pressure on the opposition by giving them a single. It can work the other way also, but because the opposition will be also thinking, okay, now I don't need to hit a big shot. 1 run लेके मैं उधर चला जाता हूँ.
Right.
So it's a win-win situation for me. So both parties are thinking like that.
Yeah.
But for me, sitting on the opposition side and thinking कि अभी मैंने 1 run दिया तो it is good for my team moving forward. I am thinking from that perspective. तो मेरे को 1 run ही देना है.
Right.
तो 1 run देने के लिए आपको जो भी बॉल डालना है उस हिसाब से आप फील्ड बताओ और वो फील्ड हम लोग रखेंगे.
Right.
Maybe a next ball we should be thinking, okay, this can be my wicket taking ball. So I have to tell my bowler that I want a wicket. I want you to try and go for a wicket. I can't demand that I want a wicket, but I have to tell them that this ball should be a wicket taking ball. So what are the options you are thinking of and all that. So we generally talk a lot during these phases. So that's how I think. I like to stay in present and think about what I can do now. And that has worked for me in the past, and that is what I continue to do.
And what about the noises in the head?
Again, when I realized it much later, but I have realized it. When you're playing a sport, especially in this country and cricket, you have to go through all this criticism where people will be saying a lot of good things and bad things.
Right.
So when you play well also, they make you sit right at the top. And when you don't do well, you are going to get criticized and you are going to be pulled down. But that's again part and parcel of it. But I realized it much later when I just got into my international career. I never thought it is like this, because you've never seen anything like that, where people are expecting you to perform every game or win every game. When you're traveling through the airports, people are saying, "Arey, jeetna hai, kal jeetna hai, jeetna hai, jeetna hai." Trust me, it plays on your head.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes it's not easy to keep all these noises away from you. So what do? You find your own way. Every individual is different to, stay disconnected from all of this. So you have to find your own way and then see how I can, just be myself and focus on what I am here for. I am here to do a job.
Yeah.
There's a certain job that the team is expecting from me, and I have to focus on that rather than thinking about what is XYZ talking about me.
Right.
I've learned this much later, like I said, through the experiences that I've had, through the frustration I've gone through, that who are you to tell me how to play and all that, what are you doing? No point thinking like that and wasting your time, because that's not going to help your game and that's not going to help the team.
Yeah.
So no point thinking about it. Focus on your game, how you can get better. Think about it constantly, and that's what I started focusing on, because all the other things that are happening around you or outside your little shield that you have created, it is immaterial, what people are talking outside. So
I think it's also because in India, one thing is sports and then there's cricket. I remember my fondest memories of cricket. When India used to lose, I would cry.
Yeah.
And my family was like,
I have
it's just a
cried
game.
as well. I have cried.
So it's like people are
Yeah.
way too emotionally attached to cricket.
Yeah.
It gets to everybody.
Yep. I mean, for some reason, the game is like that in India. You can't help. It is what it is. People are glued to the TV when there is game happening. When I was growing up, 24/7, there used to be only cricket in my house. And I used to see my father, my grandfather used to get so disappointed with us losing the game. Like now I understand what it is like for the outside world when we lose a game. Because I used to do that when India used to lose. My house members used to do that. But again, like that's only because of the passion and the love. I don't see there's anything there's anything wrong in that. It is what it is, and you have to live by it.
Rohit, you mentioned a very interesting thing. You said, you're still young, and which we all believe, by the way. But was there a time when you felt, I'm not that young, and, maybe it's time for me to put down the gloves? But
No, not
never.
Yeah, no. The only reason I retired from T20 is because I've had my time.
Right.
I enjoyed playing the format. I played for 17 years. I did well and all of that. And then you won the World Cup. This was the best time for us, for me to decide that, okay, this is now time for me to move on and then look after the other things. There are a lot of good players who are there, who can do well for India. That was not because I felt anything. It was just because I felt this is the right time. I could still play all three forms easily. That's where I want to say fitness is in your mind. How you train your mind. I believe everything is in mind. Like, I'm a person who's got a lot of self-belief because I know that I can control my mind when I have to.
That's a superpower.
Yeah, sometimes it's not easy, but I know most of the times I can do that. So, yeah, if you tell your body that you're young, you can do this, you can do that, of course you can do it.
How do you deal with injuries? You have quite a few injuries.
Yeah, it's a very tough one. It just slows you down in a lot of things. What you normally do, because you have to work within your parameters that has been given to you by your physios, trainers. You are limited, basically. It takes a lot out of your system, and you are not the same that you were before an injury. You have to work so hard to get back to normal, but certain injuries are unavoidable. You can't do anything about it. Some injuries happen quite freakishly on the ground when you're just jogging. You're jogging and you just pull a calf muscle, you pull a hamstring, sometimes you twist your knee. I've seen a lot of these cases with all my friends, teammates and all that. So you've got to be very lucky in life. An injury is not something that anyone can avoid. It can happen to the fittest of the fittest athlete. It doesn't mean that he's not fit or anything like that. It's just you're unlucky.
Yeah.
For it to happen to you now.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I don't know the full science of it, but that's having gone through a lot of injuries. I know you got to be slightly unlucky to get injured, because when you're playing, everything is going absolutely fine. Your body is fine. You're training well. Everything is good. Your diet is good and everything. But next day when you go for a game and you have a freakish injury, and you start doubting yourself whether I was doing the right thing or not. But that's probably not the case. It's just unfortunate for it to happen.
On a lighter note, कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि doctor has told you कि Rohit, now you have an injury, please अभी कुछ दिनों के लिए take rest, don't play cricket, and you're like, मैं जाके खेलूंगा.
नहीं, कितने बार हुआ है. अभी मेरे साथ तो 3-4 बड़े इंजरीज हुए. I've had a quad surgery which I was away for the game for 6 months. And the first month was completely bed rest because it was a major surgery. Then I was on crutches. I couldn't walk. And then slowly when I started walking, I'm thinking there were a lot of doubts that come in your mind. It start to creep in, whether can you play the same way that you played before? Can you run the same way that you were running before? All those things happen. But again, like I said, you got to be very, very strong here, and then get back on your same routine, what you were before, so that you feel normal about it, and then you can be yourself, what you were 6 months back. And yeah, you can be. It's not like once you had a major surgery, you cannot be the same. It's not like that. But yeah, it just takes something out of your system, and then I wouldn't say you are 100% then.
Yeah.
Maybe 98, 99. But there is something is missing from your body.
कभी कोच या डॉक्टर से डांट भी पड़ी है इस चीज को लेके कि यार फिर से इंजरी हो गई?
No, nowadays even the doctors and the physios, they do understand that if they've done so much research on it. Why do injury happens? क्यों होता है ये? इसका कोई reason है? नहीं, कोई reason नहीं है.
It just happens.
It just happens. Like I'm telling you honestly, I've seen a lot of the guys who are like strong, big muscles and everything. And at the same time, I've seen guys who are lean, fit, six packs and all that. They still get injured.
Yeah.
But there is no, like I said, there is no particular reason to it. It just happens. I'm telling you, you have to be very unlucky to get an injury. And sometimes you cannot always be lucky. तो कभी ना कभी हो जाता है लाइफ में कि आपके साथ ये हो जाता है and then you feel that you are unfortunate, but कुछ नहीं कर सकते. All you can do is just get back, start rehabbing, get back to normal, how much ever you can, and then start playing again.
Different note. What do you think, like the role of fitness? It's not very easy. A lot of people think cricket is like playing cricket.
Yeah.
But playing cricket is one thing. The preparation to be able to play cricket for as long as you have, like 17, 18 years, that's a lot of preparation. So what?
Yeah, there is. To play for 17 years and to play nearly, I'm close to 500 games now for India internationally. 500 games, not a lot of cricketers globally have played. There must be like very few numbers who have played that much. To have that longevity, there has to be something about your routine, about how you go about, playing the game, how you manage your fitness, how you manage your mind, and how you train yourself, and how do you get ready for the game. Most importantly, at the end of the day, our job is to be 100% ready for the game and perform, correct, to win games. And then if you go backwards, then in that preparation comes fitness, recovery, what do you eat,
Nutrition,
and all of that, and what do you do during your off time, bettering your skills, bettering your fitness levels, bettering your diet, recovery and everything.
right?
So for me to be game ready 100% at my best, these 4 aspects, 3-4 aspects, I have to manage that. And every body is different, every individual is different. Some things you like it to do, I may not like it. Some things I like it, you may not like it. तो ये लेवल में, इंटरनेशनल लेवल में अभी बहुत अलग तरीके से देखा जाता है ये सब चीज़ों को. और हमारा जो डिमांड अभी जो बहुत बढ़ गया है, स्पेशली इन द लास्ट 5-7 years, there has been a lot of games, you travel a lot, and then in between there was COVID, वो क्वारंटीन करना पड़ता था बीच में, 14-15 दिन उसमें चला जाता था. So, imagine sitting in your room and not doing anything, and then in a week's time you have to go and play. You can't be ready. तो but again मैं बोलना ये चाह रहा हूँ कि सब लोगों का अलग अलग तरीका है फिटनेस को देखने का, अपने आप को देखने का कि आप अपने आप को कैसे प्रिपेयर करते हो. For me, for cricketers, I would say fitness is not about how you look body wise. It is about what can you give to the team. Can you be on the park 5 days if there is a test match? Can you be on the park for 5 days with full intensity?
Yeah.
Can you play a 100-over game, 50-over game, which is an ODI format? Can you be at your best for 100 overs? And then there's any energy left, can you play the T20 format, 40 overs? So it is like that. And I think you have to train your body in a way where you are ready for all of this. So for the past 8 years, 9 years, I've been playing all 3 forms regularly. There's a lot of demand on your body, there's a lot of toll on your body, and there's not much break in between. So what are you going to do? There are challenges. You have to understand those challenges and then work towards it, get yourself ready, and then, deliver.
So your routine would typically involve a lot of workout drills. Do you also do weight training?
I do weight training, yes. I do. Like I said, I've had 3-4 major injuries. When you get these kind of injuries, it's tough for you to manage things around you. Then you have to micromanage things. You have to take a lot of rest. You can't play all games, and then you have to sleep, recover, all of that. So, these kind of challenges every sportsman has. It's not just my story. Everyone will have different stories about them.
True.
But this is my story with the injuries. And then, like I said, mentally, I'm a very strong person, and I know if there is an obstacle in front of me, I know how to cross that, or I'll find a way to cross that. It may not be 100% successful all the time, but I'll give it a good shot. I'll go 100% for that.
What about nutrition? Is there anything specific you look for when you talk?
Yeah, like we have a lot of people around us who help us, and they tell us what to eat during season, off season, when you're playing. Because see, the thing is, every format has its own challenge. The reason I say challenge is because test matches starts early morning, right? And they get over by 5, 6 o'clock in India. Outside it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So when you wake up in the morning, you know, you're playing for 5 days, and there have been times where you have fielded for 2.5 days
Yeah.
on the trot, you know, so that's nearly 180, 200 overs you have to field. So then, you know, the trainers, the nutritionist who's with the team, they'll help us, and they'll tell us what to eat, and I blindly follow what they tell us to eat because they're so experienced. And when you play the T20 format, it starts only at 8 o'clock in the evening.
In the evening, yeah.
And gets over by midnight. So before going to bed, what can you put inside your body and sleep? Some things are not right for you to put inside your body and sleep, right? So you need to think about all those things. Playing in the evening and getting the game getting finished by midnight is a big challenge. But this is what it is. You have to do it.
So, Rohit, we've been talking so much about your injuries, your fitness. I want to talk about all of your achievements and how people around you look at you. You know, bachpan mein, when I was in my schools, there was always this Sharma ji ka ladka who was always this overachiever, and उसके कारण ना हमको डांट पड़ती थी. मतलब it's not that we were bad. It's just that that person was too good. So वो आपके साथ में भी हुआ है कभी कि अब तो और लोगों को एक्सक्यूज मिल गया कि अभी देखो शर्मा जी का लड़का वर्ल्ड कप भी ले आया.
I mean, मुझे ऑनेस्टली ये कॉन्सेप्ट मुझे पता नहीं है. शर्मा जी का लड़का सुना ही है मैंने बहुत लोगों से. But no, look, I mean, in life there is always expectations. When you go and win the World Cup, there is now there's another expectation that we have to win another World Cup. तो वो expectations जो है वो कभी ख़त्म नहीं होंगे. आप 100 रन बनाओगे तो आपको बोला जाएगा आप 200 रन बनाओ अभी. अगर आपने ये वर्ल्ड कप जीता है तो आपको बोला जाएगा कि अभी नेक्स्ट वर्ल्ड कप जो आ रहा है वो जीतो. Like that, and it is completely, absolutely fair because in life you want to grow. You want to grow as a person, you want to grow as a sportsman, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. Whatever you are doing in life, you want to grow. So that's how I look at it, and I think it's fair. It's a fair call.
Perfect. Rohit, before we wrap this up, I just want you to give a message to all the kids out there, who are probably playing gully cricket, tennis cricket, and the competition is as fierce as it ever has been. One message so that these kids have something to look forward to. What is it that they should look forward to?
Enjoy the sport. That's the most important thing because, like I said, at that age when they are anywhere below 10 years, I don't think you need to put too much expectations on them. It can only add pressure and it can add a lot of uncertainty as well. Whoever I meet, my friends, when I go to the academies and all of that, there are age groups, and certain age groups you can tell them this is what you should be looking forward to. And there are certain age group where you have to just let them be their own.
Yeah.
Enjoy, have fun. This sport has so many beautiful things. Just try and see how you can reach to that level, how you can go to the bottom of the sport and find out the beauty of it. That is what I would say. And then there are age groups like under 14s and 16s. Then obviously, I think for them, they need to just be honest to the game and not fool around because, those times when you are at that age, it's a big learning curve. You learn a lot of things. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your own game. And then that is something that you bring into your own game. So not to fool around, not to be like, okay, no, I know all these things. I don't need to be taught and all that. I don't think that works. You need to be true to that game and then respect what the coaches are advising you.
Right.
That's what I did. So I'm saying from my experience. When I was 14, 15 years old, I knew that this is going to be my foundation for the rest of my life in cricket. So I want to build my foundation so strong that no matter what happens, whatever comes in future, it shouldn't just come down that easily. So that is the time you should build that.
So build the foundation, love the game, and be honest to the game.
Be honest to the game, that's the most important. Like I said in the earlier segment, where if you look after the game will look after you.
And that is so amazing.
Yeah,
Love the game, and the game will love
100%.
you back.
Love you back even more.
Yeah, Rohit, this is so amazing. Of course, we don't have much time. We would have loved to extend this discussion for hours and hours. Everybody can sit and listen to you. But thank you so much for gracing us with your amazing insights. And we are so glad to have you as part of the Fitter family.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much,
Pleasure.
Rohit.
Thank you so much.